Hello and welcome to Cage Club. Two fans, almost 100 movies, 100 episodes.
Ooh.
This is episode 100, Running with the Devil from 2019. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
And I'm the podcaster.
Ooh, we should have done that. And this is Cage Club Prime, episode 100. I guess in total, episode 150. I guess awards are one more. So I don't know. There's a bunch of these, but we are doing this not intentionally because it's episode 100, but we're in person, which is sort of a rarity. Although I feel like now when there's only a few, we should probably do these in person as often as we can to celebrate.
Yeah, we're at the second movie of the year for Cage, and it's September, so we are squeezing them in here at the end of the year.
Well, I wrote about on the episode write-up for this episode that we've been celebrating the year of Keanu, but this is the autumn of Cage.
That's right. Cage owns the fall.
He owns the fall. I was going to call it the fall of Cage, but I don't want to have wordplay like, get your snark out of here.
Yeah.
But here we are, episode 100, Running with the Devil, a movie that is apparently in theaters somewhere, and also on VOD, I think also on Apple TV. Here's what this movie is about.
Oh, plot synopses.
No David Lee Roth, sadly. No Van Halen at all. No Running with the Devil.
Oh, no, yeah. Okay, I didn't even pick up on that.
So this is a movie in which no character has a name.
Right.
Everyone is just a pseudonym.
Yes.
It's a movie in which there are far too many credible actors who I don't know why they're in this.
Yeah.
It's Cage and Laurence Fishburne and Clifton Collins
and
Leslie Bibb.
And it's just, what is going on?
All these different actors.
Barry Pepper might deserve to be here, but
that's Pepper. But there's a lot of people. Oh, there's Peter Fasinelli from Can't Hardly Wait and also from Nurse Jackie. There's a lot of people that I recognize 6 or 7 of these people. Laurence Fishburne going full Cage, and we will talk about that.
Superfish.
But this is a movie in which Cage is a, I guess, mid-level to upper-level drug dealer, drug kingpin, lord of some kind, the underworld. There has been basically a couple flaws or weaknesses in the drug pipeline.
Yes.
And so Barry Pepper, who is the lord, the king, Don of this family, dispatches Cage and another person who is never even given a character name as far as I know.
Played by Cole Hauser.
So, but he doesn't have a pseudonym, right? It's just
But him and Adam Goldberg are in this movie.
Adam Goldberg is great
as the Snitch, I think.
The Snitch,
and they were both in Dazed and Confused.
Ooh,
so.
All right.
Wasn't Cole Hauser also a certain villain in a certain Fast and Furious movie? If I'm not mistaken, was he the guy in Fast and Furious 2, or is that the guy from Stolen that I always get him confused with?
I don't know. I need to look this up. Cole Hauser, Too Fast, Too Furious. It's Carter Verone. Wow. I didn't even recognize that. So this is a movie in which Cage and Cole Hauser are dispensed down to Colombia to basically follow a shipment of cocaine up to Vancouver.
Right, to see where in the chain the weak link is.
And it seems like everywhere. It seems like
about everywhere.
There's everywhere. It turns out that Laurence Fishburne is diluting stuff to make some money. It turns out that there are drug mules who get busted or get kidnapped or shot or stolen or whatever. Turns out that there are cops down in Mexico that just shoot up drug shipments and they just take them for themselves. Like everywhere along the line, there is weakness.
Yeah.
And so Cage goes down there and sort of escorts these drugs and goes from Cartagena to Mexico to Death Valley in Utah.
To Canada.
To Seattle, to backpack across to Canada. In the end, and we will get to this in big parts, Laurence Fishburne pushes him off a cliff because he wants to take his chances. Quote, I'm going to take my chances with the cartel. Not a good idea. Cage plummets to his death, only to somehow survive the fall. It's not like they show he falls
miraculously.
Like they don't show him falling through branches.
No.
They show him landing flat on his back. In a little bit of snow,
like reaching for his cell phone,
and then he's walking around with crutches. Only to, in the end, after Laurence Fishburne gets killed.
Yes.
He dies, right?
Yeah, Cage kills him, burns him alive.
Oh, yes, burns him alive, then shoots him. Yes. How could I forget? Leslie Bibb shows up to Cage's place of work. Oh, yes, by the way, Cage is the cook. He is a pizzeria owner of some kind.
Pizza party.
Shooting a pizza. He makes a pizza. The best quote is, "You guys know pizza parties are more fun than anything." He also sponsors a youth girls soccer team and gives such shade to their coach.
Oh, that was so great.
Where she's like, thank you so much for giving us a new stadium in New Jersey. He's like, the girls love it. He's like, yeah, next time get first place. It's like, what the fuck? What?
Yeah.
And so in the end, Leslie Bibb shows up to his restaurant, and she basically says, I realized nothing's going to change. Like, I had you all the way. You're going to keep getting away with this. And she shoots and kills Nicolas Cage to end the movie. And she picks up a full of shells and walks out.
Yep.
And that's the movie. And he's somehow in it a lot and not enough.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of is for a while Laurence Fishburne's movie. And I don't want to use the phrase going full Cage because I feel like that's a shortcut and lazy and clickbaity, but that's what he's doing. He's in the Cage party.
This is a level of Fishburne that I didn't know was possible, except maybe, now that I think about it, rewatching John Wick 3 as the Bowery King, he gets a little bit of this in that performance.
Like, if these weren't acting roles, I would be concerned about his mental health, because he is going crazy in these last few movies.
Part of it could be how relaxed he might feel around Cage to try something like this.
Well, you remember he was in 2 Uncle Francis movies with him.
That's true. You know, like, they are pals, or they've acted together before. I mean, never quite on this level or anything like this much together, but like, I think maybe he just feels like this is a project where he could just go for it. Hey, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, aside from you and me, who else is really going to see this movie?
As of the time that I logged it on Letterboxd, you had already logged it, but there were a total of 71 other people who had seen this.
Oh, that's more than I thought.
I guess. I mean, I don't know, man. This is apparently based on a true story.
No,
the director is a former Navy SEAL. Inspired by true events.
Let me just say, I got into this with roommate, where it's like, this is inspired by true events in the sense that, like, drugs are made in South America and they get smuggled up north, like, into North America. Like, that's what this is based off of.
So I saw this past weekend, I saw an experimental play with my friend Bob, who is on Tub Talk. Go listen to Tub Talk. We have like 11 episodes out. And he and I went to see this play in New York that is loosely adapted from, or loosely inspired by, Don DeLillo's novel White Noise. And what this play is a 70-minute monologue where this guy is basically just reciting lists. And it is one of the most impressive things I've ever seen, and I could not connect with it even a little bit.
Really? And you have all the lists?
I love lists, and it was strange, man. And Bob loved it, and I felt bad that the ticket was wildly expensive, and I only went because his girlfriend couldn't go. And I felt bad that it should have been someone else in my seat, but I admired it. But we were talking about how, like, it's inspired by that book, I guess, kind of like, oh yeah, I know that there's, like, you know, we're watching the Mets game. I'm inspired by this Mets game to write a story about drugs. It's just like, well, it doesn't have anything, you know what I mean? But it's just like, it can be inspired by anything.
Yeah, like this movie about baseball I wrote because I was at a baseball game and it gave me, like, the idea of, like, oh, a movie about baseball.
Inspired by true events. Yeah, baseball's a thing.
Drug cartels are a thing.
R.I.P. sculling.
R.I.P. sculling, indeed. More Cage connections.
You know, I kind of want to do, I don't know which way to do, so
Let's do Cage. You want to do Cage Connections first? Because I got a couple.
Go for it.
Saturn Films.
Also, Patriot Films, which is like his 4th time he's worked with them, which I have never seen that title card before, and he's done 4 movies with them.
It's just like a slush fund kind of thing going on with that. Cage and Glasses.
Cage Shaving.
Cage Shaving is the big, and Cage dying, but dying twice. I don't think he's ever died twice. It was presumed dead and then came back.
So he dies in Deadfall, and then that character comes back in
another
Arsenal,
movie, and dies again.
Yeah,
unclear.
I also do want to say that because he's an Italian chef, he gave me shades of Moonstruck.
Right.
Because he enters work into Italian music, and he puts on his thing, and he's like tossing a pizza around. It's kind of like Suicide Squad in that everyone has like a title card.
Oh, dude.
And they have a freeze frame where the name comes up, and he tosses the pizza up and catches it on his hand. As soon as he touches his hand, goes, the cook.
There's so many touches to this movie that put it over the edge for me to the point where it's incredible. Like, it's an incredibly amazing movie as far as I'm concerned in the way that it has been put together. There's like those amazing freeze frame title cards like you mentioned.
Yes.
There are also like all the different location title cards. Like within the first like 15 minutes we're like spanned half the globe. And I don't know if you caught this, but like the movie just kind of fades in and out. All the fucking time.
So I saw this as like, we want to be like Traffic. Like, this is going to be a global story.
Right.
And also we want to be like Indiana Jones with a map that like shows a dotted line going from one place.
That put me over the top. When the first time the map showed up, Clifton Collins Jr. is walking like maybe 5 paces on the map and it vanishes and then it comes up again and I was like, oh, thank God they're bringing the map back. And it's on a little longer every time. And then eventually like a boat is taken and then a plane like That map fucking slayed me.
I am firmly of the belief that they should screen this movie in business classes because this movie is so concerned with showing you the rising value of a kilo of cocaine with every hand that touches it, every bit of work that Cage has to do to keep it safe. It starts out when they pick the cocoa leaves down in Colombia or wherever.
Yeah, on Clifton's farm.
Yes, and they school-age children that the mother takes out of school to, like, go pick drugs. It starts out at $1,000 a kilo, and then when it gets to Canada, it's like $34,000 a kilo. And it's so concerned with proving, look at the economics of cocaine. It's like, I don't care. I don't care.
But I think what they were trying to do with that, and I don't think it worked, is like, here's why.
Oh, very little about this movie works, but it also all works.
But like, here's why the price goes up so much, right? And it's like, oh, this is gonna be real interesting. Like, are they gonna double it when they cut it, and like, are they gonna mix it, and like, are they gonna expand it into like twice as? No, like basically it's just it crosses a border and it becomes $10,000 more expensive to like buy this stuff, or like maybe once or twice it changed hands and then it became like an extra $5,000. But like there was never any. We find out the issue is with Laurence Fishburne, which is basically at the end of the line. So he's
basically, if the drugs get there, so the movie also has a lot of people dying from cocaine, which is why Leslie Bibb gets involved in the first place.
Yeah,
and she's got a crazy backstory because her sister and her brother-in-law or whatever, parents to this young girl, like one of the very first lines in the movie is, "I can't wake them up," and her bus driver's like, "Who are you talking about?" Cut to her parents are dead, overdosing on cocaine, just doing blow in the living room. Like on separate, like I don't know, it was just weird. It was a weird environment on a school night, and then Leslie Bibb shows up, and then there's other people. So basically, if the cocaine made its way from Colombia to America, like to Laurence Fishburne, that's where it got bad. But also, like we saw in the opening, the truck got shut up. Like there's problems along the way, but the one that is causing the death, because they're cutting it with fentanyl and heroin,
which also, if you have fentanyl and heroin, just sell that. You cut cocaine with like baby powder or like laxative. Not that I wouldn't know why or how or anything. But I'm just saying, like in other movies when you watch it, it's like that's what you cut it. Like you cut it with lesser stuff. Like go sell fentanyl if that's what you've got. I don't understand.
It's a very, very weird movie. I knew that we were in for a weird movie when the song over the opening credits, which is basically a flash forward to the end of the movie, has the word motherfucker in it. Like, it's just straight up profane in the theme song, and I'm like, why? What? Why?
So what I loved at the end of this movie is you find out there's a double wraparound. Like first you get the guy,
and they're both Laurence Fishburne.
But first you don't know it's him, and I was like, who's this guy? But you get like a naked Laurence Fishburne taped up and tied
who looks way skinnier than Laurence Fishburne has looked in like 30
years. That's a body double, right?
Again, not like an insult to Laurence Fishburne, but he's become a bigger man.
Yeah, I think
and even like back in like The Matrix, he wasn't like thin.
No.
Like he was in shape then for the Matrix, but like this is like a scrawny, like has not been fed in 2 weeks body.
Right. And then the next shot is like the journey of the drugs through the nightclub. Yes. Where it's like this really
and they were all very open with like, just here's the cocaine.
Yeah.
She's like, ooh, cocaine, let's go do cocaine.
And then it turns out like that's like his second to last scene or something. So it's like this double reversal wraparound that just blew my mind. Oh, it's like, because you got balls to attempt one wraparound, as we talked about recently on the Radio Flyer episode, where Hanks is just in the beginning and end, and he's telling the whole story and everything like that. So, like, to do a double just is, like, kudos.
Amazing. This is also a movie in which Laurence Fishburne watches two girls on a bed in a peep show house and jerks off to completion on camera.
And we get his vinegar strokes, and he's just like, oh, Laurence Fishburne.
So, like, they're just laying there, and, like, they're in their underwear but fully clothed, and then the thing comes down, and he's like, no, and he puts the coins in, and then it comes back up, and, like, one girl's, like, barely not wearing a bra, but they're in the same pose. Like, they're just laying there, not making out, they're just laying there in bed, and he stands up and jerks off, and then we fade into another scene.
This also is a movie in which he might get pegged. We're not sure, but like he takes the two prostitutes.
No. He for sure does. Yes. Because he says, okay, so after he sees them at the peep show or whatever, he then hires two prostitutes, and they show up and they take off their trench coats, and one's wearing a strap on.
Yes.
And he says, like, let's take it in the back, like, let's go get the party started. And she says, you're gonna take it in the back. And he says, and I quote, he laughs and says, right Can't even say it. Right after I'm done setting that pussy on fire. Laurence Fishburne, what are you doing?
That shot is amazing. It's like almost half a Clockwork Orange shot where like you see his face in the foreground.
God, this is
and he's
mastery.
like doing all this blow, and behind him you see all the sex antics going on over like 2.5 days.
Yeah, him fucking 2 women
and
and behind him getting high.
Yeah, and the best part about all the sex is that like they're pretty much fully clothed.
Yes.
Like during all of the sex acts.
Yeah, I feel like Laurence Fishburne was like, I will say and do crazy things, but I'm not getting naked for this movie.
No, I don't think that was him again on the bathroom floor when they, because they also like flay a piece of his skin off and feed it to the dog. Did you catch that?
I think so.
At the end there? No, but that was hilarious, man. Like, yeah, Laurence Fishburne, way to go in this.
What I also want to say is that this is a movie in which Barry Pepper, who is the boss, that is his name.
Yeah.
Actually, let's see if we missed
Barry
any
Pepper,
names.
people, if you're not aware, he is the main rat brain man animal from Battlefield Earth.
He's also Roger Maris in 61.
Oh, that's right. Yes, yes.
With Thomas Jane as Mickey Mantle.
I forgot about that.
So the names that we've missed so far, Leslie Bibb is the, quote, agent in charge.
The longest name, I think, out of everyone.
Then Cage is the cook. Laurence Fishburne is the man. Barry Pepper is the boss, and we see him. We're introduced to him as he's making creme brulee, and I'm like, is this a restaurant-based crime syndicate? Like, what? Like, I understand that probably restaurants are kind of a front for drugs, but, like, they're both, like, into cooking. Like, it's not like they're just, like, running a restaurant, like, as a front. They're like, oh, no, we're chefs.
I thought of that, too. I was like, why is Cage the cook? I thought he was going to actually cook I thought he was the Walter White. Like, he was the cook. But
he's just a guy, also, with a very pregnant wife.
Oh, yeah, very attractive blonde woman that finds him irresistible.
Who's, like, 30 years his junior.
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny.
Clifton Collins Jr. is the farmer.
Mm-hmm. Love that guy.
Peter Fasinelli plays like Leslie Bibb's partner. Yeah. So this is so he introduces, and he's just like, so yo, we got a call, and like this is literally his first line in the movie. And Leslie Bibb's already like hands up, like, let's keep it going. Like, come on, like what he's saying. It's just like he just started talking. How are you exasperated already?
That's her character, though. Her character is like, why is this? The world is moving twice as slow as I am. Like, everyone needs to speed up. Like, this is craziness.
Let's talk about for a minute how I thought she was a crooked cop, and then it just seems like she's a cop who plays by her own rules.
So, like, I thought at the end when she came in to talk to Cage, it was going to be like, ha, like, we did it.
Yeah.
We sure got one over on my partner and got those drugs through. But then I thought she was going to be like, but my sister died because of it, so you're going to die. But no, none of that. It was just like...
So this is what it did. This is what made no sense to me. So she is interrogating... So Peter Fasinelli... Adam Goldberg.
Yeah, Adam Goldberg, the snitch.
The snitch.
Which he gets the last title card.
Comes to Laurence Fishburne's house because apparently the man had said, come over, I got girls, I got drugs, let's have a party.
Yeah.
He shows up, he goes in the room, they're both dead.
Yeah.
One's maybe not dead, but they're basically both dead. And so Laurence Fishburne's like, oh, fuck, I'm bezooted, actual word he says. I'm late for my daughter's piano recital.
Yeah.
I need to go there. You can handle this, right? And he's like, no, fuck you. He does anyway, but his way of handling it is to drive these two girls in the front seat of his station wagon to the police station.
No, to the
hospital.
Yeah, the emergency
with
room.
paramedics standing outside, a police car with 2 cops in it stationed across the street, in clear visibility of the window.
At him.
Is just like putting coke on his keys and like doing lines in the open window as he props up the dead prostitute's head.
Yeah.
And then the lady cop is just like, do you see this shit? And they go over and they arrest him. They bring him inside. And so this is where Leslie Bibb gets crazy. And so crazy in not like a crazy person sense, but just like I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah, because we'll get there.
So they have this guy dead to rights. It's possession, it's drug use, it's murder or manslaughter, it's intent to distribute, it's all this different stuff.
And they can get everyone they need through him too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so she says, all right, you're free to go. And her partner, Peter Fasinelli, is just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And they go in the hallway, and she takes a phone call. Don't know who it's with.
Never find out.
That is a thread that is never answered.
It's like the Judicator thing at John Wick, where it's just like the power of a phone call.
I guess so. And so she gives the phone to him. They let the guy go. He comes outside and she waves to him and he gets in her car. I was like, oh, she's in on it.
Yeah.
But like, it's also so obvious. Like, she's literally outside the police station. It wouldn't make sense for her to pick up a criminal. And I don't know why he gets in her car, because then she takes him to an empty warehouse, strings him up and tortures him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, in like straight up Gitmo shit, like
Right.
death metal blasting in headphones. Like, what is happening?
Yeah, like naked, like strung up with his arms over his head on a chain style, like left for days with no pot to piss in, basically. You're right, like insanity, like Zero Dark 30.
And so she comes back, and then that's when we see his name say the Snitch. And that's when we're like, oh, okay, so he's going to be the rat here. And then she just tries to, like, she figures everything out. Like, she's a cop on the level of, like, Timothy Olyphant and Delroy Lindo from Gone in 60 Seconds,
Too good for this movie.
She's like, I know all the players. I know where they're going to be. She's at the airport at the right time. She's just on the wrong side of the fence. The cops don't let her through for some reason.
Because they're in Canada. Yeah.
Like, she knows everything everyone is doing. And she still can't stop anyone. So I guess just in the end, because she plays by her own rules, she kills Cage.
Yeah,
but like,
it's a real true detective ending to the.
Who does she call? We don't know.
Never find out.
And why does Adam Goldberg get in her car? We don't know.
Never know. I wish I could, like, A, have answers, or B, argue some kind of alternate point to this, but I am right there with you, man. And this is part of the reason why I loved it, because I've realized, like, the scene or two later, I'm like, we never find out who's on the other end of that phone, and she never pulls that phone call bullshit again. And, like, we don't see her. I don't think we see her south of the border, but we see her partner try and trace Cage and all that. And, like, they don't know that Cage is in league with Fishburne and all that or anything else. Like, it doesn't even seem like they're on the same page as cops. Like, they're doing their own thing.
No, but it feels like if they just had, like, a little bit of time, they would have figured everything out. Like, they're good at their job. It's just...
No, if they had just done due process with Adam Goldberg's character, they could have gotten Laurence Fishburne, and then they could have gotten Barry Pepper and Kate. You know what I'm saying? There's a chain of command they could have followed up.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, because of the true events that this movie's based on, this stuff actually happened, had to be in the movie.
So when Cage is down in Colombia or Mexico, he speaks some of the worst Spanish I've ever heard.
Oh my God! Has he ever tried to speak a foreign? Maybe Captain Corelli's Mandolin.
He probably speaks a little Italian because from his family. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but this is like
botched.
This is like 6th grade broken Spanish.
And he's talking to Clifton Collins, who looks at him, and you could kind of see this look on his face, like. Really? Like, this
is the take we're using? All right. Because, like, Clifton Collins is like he's one of those very creepy that guys. Just like, like when he shows up, it's just like, he's scary. Like, just the way he looks.
You know, he was in that Shia war movie. Was it Man Down when he was the bum?
Yeah. Speaking of that guy, there is also one leg of the trip is like there's that overweight cowboy guy, right? Who like escorts the cocaine for a while. Like,
the trucker.
Yeah, it's like Luis Guzman wasn't available, so let's get this guy.
Oh my God! If Luis Guzman was in this movie, it would have broken my mind.
It's just it's very strange. And then he goes to a Mexican strip club and hires a woman to be a prostitute, and she's like beautiful. And then she's like, "Oh yeah, I'll call you." Like, but she seems like into him, but just because he gave her like a stack and also gave her blow.
Well, it seems like they use this guy a lot, right? And it turns out, like, doesn't it, like, someone ends up stealing from someone else, but there's something ends up happening with this guy that they end up having to kill him, right? Like, was it him? Or no, it's the other guy that shows up at the dinner party. Okay, I remember what happens now. So this guy is like one of their regular runners, and he shows up at the strip club, and they're like, "Hey, welcome back." And he's like, "Yeah, I come here often," this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then he hands all the kilos off to the other guy.
The
backpacker, who gets one stolen, and then
at the club.
Yeah, and then
they
shows
bring in
up
him, and they bring in the guy who stole it somehow.
Yeah, and they get killed off.
Yeah.
Okay, so the trucker guy survives. Yes. I wasn't sure.
Hold on. So, okay. So there is
that backpack he's walking around.
So there's a scene where the backpacker, so he's in another club, and the cocaine gets stolen. He loses a brick,
a whole kilo. Yeah.
The guy's just like, "Fuck you, I'm leaving." And so we then see the backpacker go to this, I guess lower on the tier cartel drug lord down in Mexico.
The next stop, right?
And he is invited over for dinner, and this guy goes and gets like mole sauce and squirts a bunch on. The guy's like, "Hey, that's enough." Then takes a big old knife and just slits the guy's throat. Then uses that same knife to cut his steak and eat it. And I was like, "Whoa!" And then from the room behind, Cage and Cole Hauser come out, and you see the guy who had stolen it, like, strung up and murdered.
Yeah.
And they have all the drugs.
Scarface style.
But I understand that the drug trade is like troubling and stuff, but like this is crazy. Like this is like every step is a problem. Like there's a step where there's a routine drug traffic stop by cops.
Oh, that's my favorite.
And two other guys that we don't know come up and kill the cops and take their clothes, and then
and pose as cops. Stop the trucker guy.
And then the trucker guy gets stopped, and then Cage and Cole Hauser show up, and they kill the new guys, and they're like, all right, trucker, go through.
It was perfect timing, too. Like, they pull up and hit him with the car right when they're trying to open the door. I'm trying to think if there aren't any weak links along the way. Because it's so funny because it goes by truck. First it goes by foot. The coke goes by foot. Then it goes by a truck. Then it goes by a boat. Then it goes by a plane. Oh, that's my favorite part. So they fly it.
Death Valley.
They fly it, no problem, into America, like over all of California.
So I have a crazy thing about this. I want to see if it's the thing that you're going to say. But go ahead.
No, probably not. Because what I'm going to step off is one of my favorite moments is when Cage is just camping in Death Valley waiting and
hunting animals and skinning them.
Yeah, just like camping out there waiting for this plane to come, and then a guy skydives out of the plane with the coke backpack and lands right next to him.
I thought he was there to have a dead drop. Like he was going to drop the bags out and they were going to go get them.
Yeah.
And then the guy skydives out and I'm like, why? What?
Why?
I guess
why not land the plane?
In retrospect, because I guess you probably can't land because then you have to have regulation or whatever. I don't know.
That's going to tip them off.
I don't know.
Is that?
But I think in retrospect, I think that guy was always the chain in he's the link in the chain there.
Yeah.
And so if Cage wasn't there to make sure, that guy's going to parachute or skydive down into
Death Valley, get somewhere else.
Bring it to Seattle easily enough, and then pass it off up there, and it's going to go from whoever. But then at the end, when it gets to Seattle, then Cage and Laurence Fishburne just backpack it across and cross country ski.
So there's two things. That's what's so weird is that they didn't have people at every stop to begin with to make sure that this problem.
I think there were, but it was one guy. There's no
kept
backup
plan.
Yeah.
So three. The second thing is we find out that none of the transportation stuff is really the problem. What's really the problem is when Laurence Fishburne gets in and starts cutting it because that's what's killing people.
Yeah.
The other thing is
it's light getting there, but it's that's the death. The death is there.
Yeah. And the other thing is, was it Cage's job to always backpack it over Canada, and this time or was it Lawrence? Did Cage and Laurence Fishburne, was their deal always,
I don't know.
Were they always the guys who did that in that link?
I don't think so, because when Cage is with his wife and she's like, "Are you going somewhere down south?" He's like, basically, I can't talk about that. She's like, I hate it when you do that. She's not saying, "Are you going up north?" It's "Are you going down south?" You've
gone down south before, because the other thing is Adam Goldberg is set up and everything, and he's being followed, and Laurence Fishburne tries to play it off like he doesn't know that and stuff. But Cage ends up shooting Adam Goldberg to death on the side of the road, and then they call that guy because they have a problem, and they find the tracker and they switch cars and everything. Yeah. So I'm just trying to figure out what is Cage's job as the cook in this whole cartel. I understand it gets to him in Seattle and then he gives it to Laurence Fishburne, but I don't understand.
I feel like he's a dealer that supplies the dealers. Or maybe he's a dealer that supplies the dealers who supply the dealers.
All right.
But it also feels because maybe Laurence Fishburne is just because he's the one actually cutting it and putting the little baggies, right?
Yeah.
So he's the street level dealer.
Right.
Cage is above him and Barry Pepper's above him.
Okay.
I guess.
All right.
Laurence Fishburne then hires another prostitute that he then brings who kind of looks like his daughter a little bit.
Like
at
his
the
real
motel.
Life daughter?
Yeah. A little bit. And then they go to the motel and he tries to he pays for the room for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But then is talking to this probably 50 or 60-year-old receptionist hey, a little something extra if you want to join us. She's like, I would need more than 20 minutes. He's like, I got no problem with that. It's what? I don't.
Again, going full Fishburne.
And then that's when Leslie Bibb, gets him to confess, and then he and Adam Goldberg in on it. I don't know what Laurence Fishburne's end goal is, though, right? Because it's he wants to take his chances with the cartel. Is he just trying to make a power play and he's going to take Cage's role?
I think it's all sort of I think he's off book. I think he's just trying to stay alive, and I think part of it is if there's an opportunity here to screw over anyone just to save myself, I'm going to do it, right? So the whole Adam Goldberg situation is I don't know anything about that, right? He's trying to always self-preservation. So the whole Cage thing, when Cage is hanging off the side of the mountain, he's like, "Hey friend, help me, pull me up, buddy." He's just I can't do that. There's just not in the cars, man. I just feel it was an instant decision where it's
I'm going to take my chances with the cartel. Where does it stop? sorry, bro. And then he basically pulls a scar on Mufasa.
Over goes Cage, and I screamed. I was like, no, we killed him.
Then we have Laurence Fishburne taking a bath, and then having like a makeover montage where he goes and buys a new suit.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how we get back to the beginning of the movie.
You know what that reminded me of? What was always be my maybe, when he goes in to buy the suit and he's like, that'll be like $17,000, and he's like, shit, because he wanted the one Keanu had or whatever.
Then he's like, he thinks he's king shit, and like he's smoking a cigar in the club, and the bouncer comes and puts it out and then brings it up to Barry Pepper's office, and he's trying to smoke another cigar up there, and Barry Pepper's like, come on, guy, like, act the part.
Because they know that he tried to kill Cage, and that Cage is...
because Cage is still alive.
Yeah, they're keeping him behind locked door, behind door number 3, behind the third curtain.
Bachelor number 3. Then we find out at the end that Cage is alive.
That's amazing.
And Laurence Fishburne's like, I watched you die.
And Cage gives that great he has a great Cage moment at the end there. By the way, throughout this entire movie, Cage is doing his, what I like to call, like, his screw face, where he's doing like he's trying to do like a mean look almost, like the entire time, like something just bugs him, like, about all of this. And
I feel like
it.
He's the kind of guy, like, in this world that he retired from the game, and he doesn't want to be doing this anymore.
Yeah, he just wants to make his pizzas.
He just wants to make his pizzas and, donate to a soccer team and just, like, be so mean to the coach. And then because he has to come back into this world, he's just like, God damn it. And I think that's just like, he doesn't know who he's pissed at. I don't know if he suspects Laurence Fishburne at the beginning, but by the end he hates him because, like, if it wasn't for him doing his bullshit, he would just be making pizzas. And also alive at the end of the movie. Leslie Bibb at the end just pulls out a cigarette and starts smoking in his kitchen. She says, please don't smoke in my kitchen. And then she's talking about the futility of it all. And she's like, it's like one giant self-licking ice cream cone. And I was like, I don't know what that means. So she's like basically saying, no matter what I do, no matter who I stop, no matter what efforts I make, this is never ending, right? It's like, no matter what happens, this is a problem. She shoots and kills Cage, walks out. Credits start to roll. Then we have a credit scene where Clifton Collins starts it over again.
That's right, like over and over again.
But like, she just said that. Why are we seeing it? She just said that. Like, we don't need that.
Because just so you know, like, killing Cage isn't going to do anything either.
Yeah, but I think she knew that. She's just like, she's just basically, I need to do something.
It's the movie trying to be like, trying to make its point one more time at the end there, trying to be prolific.
Yeah, it's like, we get it. We know.
So Cage, he pulls off the hood, and he's standing there, and Laurence Fishburne thought he was dead. Cage goes to Laurence Fishburne, you gambled and lost.
I love it.
You gambled and lost. And crutches Cage is amazing because he's clearly just, like, he's not acting in his crutches. He's just, like, walking in, I don't think he really practiced with the crutches. No. It would have been better if they just gave him, like, a fake cast or something, like, I don't know, or broke his arm, instead of his legs or something.
Or just put him in a wheelchair.
Oh, my God. It's incredible how little damage he sustained falling off a cliff, like, frickin', what's his name, Brixton from Hobbs and Shaw, like, he would have died from that fall. Like, it's insane.
I took so many notes, and I think I went through all of them. Is there anything else that we did not talk about that you want to make sure you cover? I'm going to look at one other thing that I wrote down.
Party. I just thought it was hilarious how many locations we visited and were expected to keep track of so early in the movie, where it's like, now we're in Vancouver, now we're in Seattle, now we're in Columbia, now we're over here now, we're over here now.
All that is just like the movie's like, look how important it is. Look how important the story that we're telling is. Look how globe-spanning it is.
I had two notes. I wondered if those were Adam Goldberg's real tattoos, because I just didn't feel like the production, I didn't feel like the production had enough money and time to cover them, and B, I figured it, he was exposing them because it was finally a moment where, like, he could wear them on a movie, I could show them in a movie. The other thing is, at one point, Laurence Fishburne, he, like, comes out of a bodega pissed off and, like, scratching, losing lottery tickets and stuff. And I'm like, you just gave your ex-wife, like, thousands of dollars in $100 bills. Like, why are you, like, sweating over, like, a scratch off?
I don't know, man.
Like, and then this guy walks around the corner like, you owe me, man. And he's like, hey, I got this for you. And he gives him some Coke and stuff. But, like, you're loaded.
Well, what this movie teaches you is that if you ever owe somebody money, just give them cocaine cut with fentanyl and heroin, and then they'll die, and you suddenly won't owe them any money.
Oh, there's that great shot where Leslie Bibb, like, looks down an alleyway, and there's, like, 3 of the cleanest dead homeless
just
bones
sitting next to each other, upright against the wall.
Like they were frozen in like, the wintertime.
It's wonderful. It is truly a special movie.
I mean, look, this is no score to settle. Like that.
No, that's the thing. So, like, this I did not give a score to on Letterboxd because a score to settle is like... That's a miracle. That's a miracle movie.
That's a miracle movie.
This is not a miracle movie. This is just like an insane movie that I just gave this the little heart.
But
and
it's
I wrote
still
a review.
it's not like it's 211. You know what I'm saying? Like
no.
That's
I
the
enjoyed
thing.
this
Like,
movie.
yeah.
Like, I think this is.
That's what I find amazing.
Like I think Score to Settle is.
It's special.
It's a bad movie, but
no,
it's
but it's
not,
special.
It's special. This is just a bad movie that could like it.
It's got bonkers things going on.
A lot of the reviews on Letterboxd are like, "This is frustrating. I wish that this was this. I wish that it was that." Like it's like got the potential, and I'm just like,
all the things I love about it.
You got to know what you're dealing with here. Like it's not going to be good. The fact is, like, how do they all like? Why are they all here? I just don't. I don't understand it.
There's more like I don't want to say there's like merit to this more than like something like 211, but there's definitely levels. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's 3 scores when dealing with the VOD.
3 scores to settle.
There's the bottom, which is like the 211
and
stuff,
Arsenal and stuff,
Arsenal, where it's just like this is just bad, and it's just bad, and there's really nothing like to redeem here.
I'm gonna say there's 4 tiers, but go ahead.
The second one is something like this, where it's like acceptable, right? Oh, you're right, there are 4.
And there's like Looking Glass is another one of those, but I think Looking Glass is sort of this one and then think of the one above, where it's just like this is not good, but like it's fun.
Yeah. Then there's the Hungry Rabbit Jumps, where there's like genuinely good video on demand.
Oh, I was saying that was the top tier.
Oh, no, that is. I'm just saying there's 4. That is the top tier.
Yes.
But the other one I was talking about are these madness, like
A Score to
Settle is like best of the worst, like balls to the walls. Like how did this even happen? Like
in terms of going from like watchability, like the worst is like 211, just like nothing is working here.
Yeah.
Then there's the one that's like this, where it's like there's some fun stuff, but it just doesn't work.
It's not bad per se. It's just not working.
Then above that is A Score to Settle. It's maybe Looking Glass. It's the one that's just like this isn't good, but they are swinging for the fences, and they are missing every pitch here.
I'd say it's when someone else in the movie is going full Cage and taking it almost like taking it away from him at times, and there's like this battle. And I forgot Nicole Kidman was in Looking Glass too. Holy shit.
No, that's not Looking Glass. That you're talking about. Oh God, what's it called?
Oh, you're right. Not Looking Glass. That's the one with the motel. I'm
Looking Glass is the one Robert in the motel.
With the diamonds.
Oh God, what's that movie called?
All you have to do is open that door right there, and you'll see every Cage movie.
I don't want to look
Trespass.
it up. Trespass.
Yes, Trespass. I got that confused, but
you did it. You cracked the code.
The money's in the walls.
Yeah, but then there's the top tier, which is the Stolen, which is Seeking Justice, which is like this is actually like a good movie that could be in theaters and just wasn't in theaters for some reason.
Oh, the one OBL where he goes after Osama.
Army of One. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, there's the 4 tiers, and as long as it's not in the bottom one, I'm fine.
Me too. I might have been a little overzealous watching it this time, but I was in a good mood and I was very excited. Anytime there's new Cage now, I get very excited.
My not concern, but when you were like, so you gave it 5 stars on Letterboxd, and you were like, all I gotta say is that I'm happy, and I was just like, huh. And then I was watching, I was like, I'm having a good time, but I also like there were a couple times where I was like, I gotta be like halfway through. I was like 20 minutes in, I was like, what is happening? There's an hour 20 left, and then again I was just like, oh, I gotta have like there's gotta be like the last half hour. It's like halfway through. It's like, oh my God, like what is happening? But anyway, when you said tonight that it's not A Score to Settle, like that's all that I need. Like I mean, we're pretty much in sync with a lot of these Cage movies where it's like we know what's good, we know what's bad, we know what's fun. And as long as you weren't like, this is as good as A Score to Settle, because like that is truly...
I'm aware.
What is happening in that movie?
Yeah, I can't believe I figured that one out. I'm almost a little sad that I didn't get the full reveal of A Score to Settle, but I still think back on that, and it's in a different class, for sure.
Anything else to say about this before, we're going to be back in probably 3 weeks for Kill Chain.
I know. Kill Chain, maybe Color Out of Space later this year, maybe.
I hope so. That's getting rave reviews out of Fantastic Fest.
Oh, there was one point where they did a split screen map. Was it Cage's face on one side of the screen and then the map on the other side? Or it might have been Fishburne. I'm not sure exactly who, but I thought that was pretty funny. The Not Dead Junkies.
You know how like when you watch Sin City, you're like, Tarantino directed one of these scenes. Which scene did he direct? It's like, oh, it's clearly the scene directed by Tarantino. Brian De Palma directed one of these scenes. Which one is it? Oh, it's the one with the split screen. Craziness happening on both sides.
I think I'm kind of exhausted here for Score to Settle. I love that, I had this weird feeling. I was like, when Cage died, I didn't necessarily think he was alive, but I didn't feel like he was totally out of the movie. Like maybe
I feel like in modern day you can't just kill him because.
But it kind of made sense in the moment where I was like, oh, I expect this movie to just kill him off here.
Because also he's top billed, but it's not his movie. It's Laurence Fishburne's movie.
Fish's movie, yeah. Fish And if it isn't, he steals it away for sure. But no, man, this is just another. Again, yeah, I know what I saw. Like I'm casting no illusions as to its greatness or anything. I just very satisfied again.
So according to IMDb, we have Color Out of Space. Obviously, right now it's 2019, but that's because it's in festivals.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it comes out, maybe it doesn't come out. We got Kill Chain that we know is coming out in October 15th or something, and then also slated for this year, November 8th, Primal.
Yes, finally.
Which is him on the boat with all the animals.
Nice.
And a long
maybe
time
there's
ago,
going to be like a Roar sort of feel to that one.
A long time ago, one of the actors in that movie, Tommy Walker, said he would act. He would do the podcast with us. I don't know if that's still going to happen because he's in a couple other movies. Oh, so in that movie, oh my God, in Primal, there's Nicolas Cage, there's Famke Janssen, there's Kevin Durand, aka Kimi from Lost, and there's Michael Imperioli from The Sopranos.
Oh my God. What the fuck?
I don't know, man. It's gonna be good. And then
Christopher. Dude, Christopher and Cage in the same movie?
Kill Chain is Nicolas Cage.
Oh, this is gonna be great.
Enrico Colantoni, which is Veronica Mars' dad. Ryan Quanten, who's one of the stars of True Blood. And Annabelle Acosta, who is, I guess, one of the stars of Quantico and Ballers. So.
When does the fight movie with Gorillo come out? What's that one?
Jiu-Jitsu?
Yeah.
It's
still
not
filming.
dated. So we have for 2019 Primal, 2020 Prisoners of the Ghostland and the Croods 2, then in production Kill Chain, even though we know that's coming out, Siberia, Jiu-Jitsu, and Grand Isle.
I love that he's got a movie called Siberia coming out.
And then 10-00 is in development.
10-00, getting a 211 vibe from that title. But okay, I'm glad. As long as we get one or two more this year, I'll be very happy.
As long as the guy puts out 4 movies in a year, I'm happy.
Well, I mean, he
did 8 last year. I know.
We're very spoiled. But I'm also very jaded at this moment. I need some Cage from my veins.
I think this is like his 90th maybe movie. It's somewhere in there.
Got to do a new count, yeah. Oh, and we should mention as the time of this recording, tomorrow Score to Settle will be out on Blu-ray.
Yes, it's going to be at my house tomorrow. So I'm hoping to put this out tomorrow.
Okay.
So I think today, as you're listening to this, well, actually, whenever you listen to this, Score to Settle is out on Blu-ray because I'm not editing this tonight. So tomorrow, just go buy a Score to Settle. My favorite part about that movie is that I forgot that I paid for an Amazon Rewards point, so I paid $0
I think I did too.
And it's on the way to my house right now. But yeah, I think that's all we got. Again, I said before, but any other thoughts about this, or are we good to...
Yeah, I think we're good to go. No guest again on this episode, so it might be a little bit shorter and stuff.
Which is fine.
I don't want to say I don't want to, subject anybody to this, because that's the contrary. I absolutely want people, the object is to get more people to watch these movies and stuff, but it's just tougher to get guests these days for Cage Club because these movies are not known whatsoever.
Also, I don't really care.
Well, it's a lot of fun just, taking it back to basics with you and doing it like it all started. And there's a certain energy to just these solo bolos, doing it to just us.
So we also tonight recorded an episode of Keanu Club about Between Two Ferns, the movie. So go check out that movie if you like Keanu Reeves or just like comedy. And we also every Friday do the Tom Cruise and Tom Hanks podcast, the Tom Tom's Cruise Club and Hanks for the Memories. Go check those out every Friday. We are in the midst of great Tom Cruise movies, and we are about to turn the corner on great Tom Hanks movies.
That's right.
Unless
you consider, like me, Bonfire of the Vanities was the start of the greatness of what is Tom Hanks movies.
We just recorded a radio flyer, need I remind you.
We did a little bump in the
combo
road.
Breaker, combo breaker.
Combo breaker, nice.
But for all things Cage Club Prime and Cage Club Revisit, we did 50 director's commentaries, which are varying quality, I will just say that right now. You go to cageclub.me, facebook.com/cageclub, or at cageclubpod on Twitter and Instagram. Email us, mailbag@cageclub.me. Come back in probably 3 weeks for Kill Chain. Check out all 100 episodes of this, all 25 shows on the network. Lots of fun, free things for you to listen to wherever you get podcasts. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
And I'm Mike Manzi.
And we'll see you next time right here on Cage Club.